Do you suppose you've gone through so much in life for nothing? However, this is not true. You have a fascinating future, and the darkness has sensed the potential of your light. That is why every obstacle you have endured has been a deliberate attempt to weaken your resolve from the beginning. The challenges you face at each step show that your path is not random. Obstacles exist not to defeat you, but to remind you of your power and majesty. Now is the time to endure. Be aware of your brightness. Did things appear tough and mysterious to solve when you were younger? Even as a child, you recognized a connection to the unknown beyond the apparent. It seemed as if the cosmos showed you depths that others could not see, as well as realities hidden in the shadows. The early barriers appeared to be intended to make you question your own reality. Before you realized who you were, you felt alone, strange, or unheard. These obstacles aim to restrict your opportunities for progress. Could it be that the indications have always appeared random to you, signaling that significant changes are about to occur? Did you get an unexpected sense that nature was winking at you? Perhaps you've seen symbols that call for upliftment and enlightenment at previous times. Messages hidden in the landscape or sudden flashes of light in the sky drew us out of the ordinary. These were not simply coincidences. They were recommendations for discovering who you are and reaching your innermost potential. The cosmos was directing you in several ways to assist you take one step ahead. You have always had a special spark inside you. Some people recognized the draw. Some perceived you as a magnet and were drawn to this energy. Others were startled by the intensity of the reflected light and tried to control your sparkle. A big effect usually attracts attention, and whether you realize it or not, your own energy influences the cosmic architecture of the cosmos. Your birth date, zodiac sign, and celestial alignment all play a role in this vast global symphony of voices. Perhaps, as a Leo, you were intended to lead, spread the flame of desire, and leave your mark. Alternatively, as a Pisces, you are a spirit that hears the whispers of the deep oceans and transcends the boundaries of dreams. Understand this: the light shines through the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. John 1:5. The light. The light symbolizes your inner essence. God gave you a spark. Whatever they do, they will be unable to extinguish the spark. They may devise a number of tactics to upset you. They may complicate your paths, but they cannot change your personality. God created your being with a purpose that is deeply woven in your own nature. No matter how hard we try, God's power and light remain inside us. No matter how hard the chaotic outer world tries, it represents your intrinsic potential, a force that God cherishes and safeguards. Remember the first moments of your childhood. Remember when you felt misunderstood and questioned your own worth. Maybe you hid your tears. Maybe you felt inadequate. However, those difficulties were not the result of your inner flaws, but of your God-given perseverance. Challenges are part of our designer's overarching plan for us. Those who intended to defeat you saw your potential before you did. They moved fast, seeking to demolish your fortress, which was still under construction. So, what happened? You are still here. You are still standing. You radiate with God's brightness. With God's promise, stronger than ever, more solid than ever. The evildoers underestimated your might. They assumed you were weak. They weren't aware that each attack would make them stronger. Every challenge sharpens your awareness and increases your spiritual bond with God. Every hurdle brought you closer to God. Every setback foreshadowed your future achievement. God's flawless plan was intended to reveal your inner strength. You are God's chosen one, a lightweight carrier. This is God's gift to you. The light within each of us is a sacred inheritance, a spark that God lit with His own breath. No one, and I mean no one, has the power to change God's destiny. Remember that God's grace is with you. His strength surrounds you at all times, and light will always prevail over darkness. Dear brothers and sisters, please listen. God's magnificent plan is empowering and honoring you. Challenges are opportunities to allow the divine light shine even brighter on you. Remember, you are God's chosen one. A transporter of light. Darkness cannot withstand God's light. But here's something that will allow the light to spread further. A planting is necessary, much as a seed in the dirt can grow into a huge tree. Today, you may help God's holy work by planting a seed. Click the Super Thanks button on YouTube to give $20 or more. It is not simply a gift. It indicates your faith in God. Trust in heavenly illumination. This is my vow to you. This planting will pay off 1,000 times over, since the Bible declares that he who sows will reap abundantly. Lee Chronicles 9:6. Every dollar you donate now is more than just a contribution. It represents an investment in God's grace for your life. It will return to you in the form of material wealth, spiritual enlightenment, and celestial light to surround you. Hallelujah. Take action promptly. Click the Super Thing button, plant a seed, and allow God's wonders into your life. Because you have been selected to illuminate the darkness, what you provide now will be rewarded with plenty and success tomorrow. As you progress, the challenges you confront get more difficult. However, your strength improves. Recognize that you do not need to face these issues alone. Higher beings, angelic guardians, and your ancestors are there from the moment you are born. They guide you, providing you all the strength and wisdom you need to not just survive, but thrive. With their assistance, you are prepared for the trials ahead and have courage inside you. You've known since the beginning that something was calling you, that you had a unique purpose in the world. This assignment was not presented to you as an option. It found you and struck a chord deep within. It was no accident that you were picked. You were selected by a will that acknowledged that no one else could occupy this job. That explains why your tribulations have been so harsh and your conflicts so frequent. those who saw your potential were anxious about the impact you may have if you took full action. But here's a secret. The universe has not just lured you to this path. It has also given you the strength you require. You were given all of your gifts, as well as inner strength and wisdom, so that you could show up when you needed to. Every obstacle you overcome, every seemingly insurmountable impediment, brought you closer to mastery. This expedition was merely a preparatory phase. With each blow, you become stronger. With each tribulation, you become more alert. Some may seek to tear you down, but the divine plan is to elevate you up. With every rise, you develop insight, strength, and resolve. Something deeper is within you, an inner power, an ancient knowledge that has yet to be fully revealed. This potential is contained in your ancestors' genetic blueprints, and long-buried facts are now ready to be disclosed. This is one of the reasons you are special and connect on an otherworldly level. You embody the light and wisdom that are required at humanity's most difficult times. However, there are forces throughout the world that are apprehensive about this power being released. Beings with negative motives are afraid of you and your history because they fear your total enlightenment. Trials have taken several forms. Sometimes the ones you love the most hurt you with words or actions that crush your heart. Sometimes the people who were supposed to protect you have inflicted the most terrible injuries. This universal truth says that the most ferocious attacks come from those closest to you, as the vulnerability of the heart may weaken even the most powerful spirits. Perhaps those closest to you have disappointed, abandoned, or left deep emotional scars. These were not bad situations that happened by chance. They were tests designed to suppress your inner might. Their goal was to hinder your progression, but they underestimated your fortitude. Every obstacle, suffering, and devastation that you have faced has been overcome and lead you to this point. Despite being consumed by mental storms, you not only persevered, but emerged from each struggle stronger and more knowledgeable. Know this: the Lord heals. He binds the fractured hearts. He patches their wounds. Psalm 114, verse 7. Verse 3. Your scars are places where your inner power is restored. Each scar is proof of the storms you experienced and your capacity to weather them. They signify that you have triumphed, not defeated. The hardships were meant to pull you down. Your life's problems were meant to impede your growth, to keep you rooted in past disappointments. But here you are, still standing and strong, because God was with you. Sometimes the pain is so strong that you feel lost in the darkness. But the Lord's love always provides a way out. Every wound becomes an opportunity for God to build and cleanse your heart. The truth is this: you have overcome the shadow of each calamity and broken moment. God illuminated the way. Now is the time to move on to the next stage of mending. It is time to let go of all the weight and past scars, regrets, and unresolved resentments. God desires to heal and enlighten you. Trust God today and announce to yourself, I am truly easing the burdens that have been holding me back. It is a commitment to break the old chains in your heart. You will sense your spirit. Breathe deeply, lift your arms, and imagine God's healing force falling on you. When His holy love touches you, you feel the lightness of being free of old chains. Your pain does not define you. Leave your past behind while God prepares you for a new, higher purpose. His goal is to give you with a hopeful future. Take a deep breath together and surrender to God's healing love. Leave your wounded with Him. God's miracles can heal any hurt. His love is as powerful as the sun shining on the rocks. When you embrace the love, no, the weight will be too much for you. The time for healing has arrived. God wants to set you free. Free of the limitations of the past. You will be free from any impediments that are keeping you back. Rely on His promise. Believe in His healing, because God is calling you to experience significant, long-term healing. And know that with God's might, everything is possible. Dear brother, listen and accept. Some individuals try to lock you in the disappointment of the past, but God's hand was on you. You're still alive, erect and powerful, because God was with you and preparing you for a divine assignment. It's time to take this magnificent experience one step further, to break free from the chains of the past and embrace the glorious new beginning that God has provided for you. The Bible says that the Lord will go before you. He will level the mountains. Isaiah 45 verses 50. God is removing obstacles in your path and directing you toward a successful future. However, this requires reciprocal action. Today, we take one step closer to God's healing power. To help this ministry, click the Super Thanks button on YouTube and contribute $20 or more. It is not simply a gift. It entails breaking the chains of your soul, revealing your faith in God, and making a sacred commitment. Every dollar you give will be returned to you 1,000 times over in God's abundance. Give, and a full pressed and overflowing measure will be placed in your lap. Luke chapter 6 through 8. Plant a seed today and watch as it grows into healing, blessing, and renewal in your life. Allow God to accomplish wonders in your life while enjoying His prosperity. Raise your arms, give up your problems, and surrender to God's love. Take this action quickly. To make your contribution, simply click the Super Things button. God is working for your good. Alleluia! Your next step will be to focus on soul cleansing. You will embrace healing, whether via writing out silent emotions or confronting your own reflection and experiencing moments of strength. You will discover that suffering is not a goal on your never-ending journey, but rather a teacher as you heal deeper scars. You will see that the things you formerly desired to devour are now transforming you into your strongest self, as if you were reborn from the ashes. You'll get stronger than ever before. The mistake was to expect that you would break. However, with each rebirth, you gain a deeper, more resolute strength. Your personal recovery journey is a bold stance in a world full of upheaval and suffering. Each step of your recovery is a heroic battle to the wicked forces that fuel the darkness. As you heal, you become a beacon of hope for everyone around you. indicating that it is possible to overcome their inner wounds and defeat any harmful force. This healing journey is not easy. You will have to face your own inner darkness. You will need to let sentiments that have long been hidden deep within to surface. But beyond that darkness looms. Freedom beyond the hurdles glows at the end of this journey. Nothing will be able to keep you from accomplishing your goals. You've survived difficulty, and now it's time to embrace the chances that await you. Your efforts and difficulties have not been in vain. A gorgeous table is set before you, and it is no ordinary table. It's being displayed to those who don't believe, those who try to stop you, those who diminish your successes. What you are provided is more than simply tangible rewards. Yes, money and opportunities will come your way, but greater spiritual treasures are waiting for you. You will be equipped with the wisdom that comes with each fight, as well as the knowledge and insight that will help you grow. Every year, every difficulty and barrier you successfully overcome will be rewarded with a well-deserved gift when the time comes to receive your inheritance. Declare from the inside, "This is my right, and I fully acknowledge it." This simple affirmation connects you to the flow of money, bringing into your life the treasure of figures that are available to you as you are impacted by the energy of the current moment. You are currently restoring balance after having previously experienced instabilities and a lack of stability. You are finally reaching a state of balance. The chaos in your life is beginning to subside, and serenity is on the way. There is harmony between your inner world and your environment, which generates prospects for wealth. Understand this: what I haven't seen here hasn't been heard, and my heart hasn't conceived. God has plans for people who love Him. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. This verse is about the actual wealth that God has given us. However, there is one thing to remember. We cannot be measured just in material terms. True riches are well-rounded lives filled with God's love that nourish your spirit and foster inner peace. Not only does God's riches affect your finances, but also your heart, relationships, and life. Spiritual fulfillment comprises improving your relationship with God, finding inner peace, and developing your bonds with loved ones. It requires realizing the value of the activities you do on your spiritual journey and leaving a positive legacy by affecting the lives of others. Think about it. God's grace is upon you not just now, but also tomorrow and future generations. Living a life of love and deep friendships brings genuine riches to the center of your being. Most significantly, it is a blessing from God. Remember this. This legacy will not be limited to only you. The strong ties you've built and the seeds of love you've planted will have a long-term impact. Your heavenly treasures are creating a chain of blessings for your children, grandkids, and future generations. You are establishing a solid foundation for your family and community, just as the roots of an oak tree keep the ground in place. God's abundance over you is a gift that transcends the troubles of your past, a gift that can overcome any hurdles. Perhaps you have fallen on hard times, perhaps you have fallen several times, but God's kindness has always lifted you up. Accept the riches you've received with gratitude. Do it not just for yourself, but also for future generations. God has selected you to be the beginning of a chain of success. His goal is to establish a financial and spiritual legacy that will last for generations, starting with you. This legacy will shower your loved ones and their descendants with heavenly richness and elegance. When you reflect on your life, consider not just what you have received, but also the spiritual riches that God has promised to give you. You are a legacy builder who has been blessed by God. Your every touch of affection, every act of compassion, will be remembered for decades, like a divine music echoing through eternity. That is why the riches you acquire today is not just for the present, but also the beginning of a legacy that will allow future generations to flourish in God's favor. Take heed, brother. Perhaps you have fallen down, perhaps you have gone through a challenging situation. However, in God's kindness, He has always raised you up because you were selected as a blessing. Not only today, but for future generations. God's design is beautiful and flawless. You are a selected race, priests in the King's service, a sacred land, a people of God. 1 Peter 2:9. This expedition symbolizes the beginning of a divine bond, not just for you, but also for your followers. God has asked you to leave a legacy of riches and love. Every seed of love you sow, every gift you make has an enduring impact. This will nourish future generations' spirits and raise them in the light of God. Today marks the end of this heritage. Click the Super Thanks button on YouTube to send a $20 or more gift. This is a technique that will not only start your day, but will also assure the spiritual and financial well-being of everyone who follows you. God will return this seed 1,000-fold. As the Bible says, "Cast your sowing upon the waters, and it will soon return to you." Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 1. As you enter this new period of abundance, keep your roots firmly planted in the ground. Wealth is a tool for reaching your ultimate goal, not your final destination. Its mission is to assist you and provide you with all you need to achieve your objectives and advance along your path. When you use these resources purposefully and meaningfully, the world continues to give you with more, even in the face of adversity. You haven't lost faith. You remain committed to your goal, even when you feel inadequate. Every awakening comes at a cost, and patience pays off. As your newfound awareness expands, you become a target. The obstacles you face become more powerful powers that were previously uninterested in you. They're now gazing at you. They recognize the potential inside you. And they are worried that if you fully understand it, their authority would diminish. Their dread derives from your shift. But this is where the good news comes in. You are completely protected. No threat or strategy directed against you will succeed. Attacks against you will fail because your strength is divine rather than worldly. A bright barrier separates you from invisible counsel. Keep an eye on your every movement. You are so secure that you cannot be seen, weakened, or destroyed. This revelation is simply the start of your adventure. You are beginning a new stage of development, one of inner enlightenment, emotional strength, and even an increase in physical energy, all of which have been dormant inside you. You are now emerging. Your intuition is increasing. Your creative potential improves, as does your connection to the divine. You are becoming far more than you could have anticipated. However, as your power grows, so will your duties. You understand that this trip isn't just for you. As you grow, you will be able to motivate, lead, and illuminate others. Those around you will look to you for guidance and support. Your journey is part of a larger purpose, and it will help others find their own light. The route ahead will be rocky. You'll face more complex riddles, demanding examinations, and unexpected opponents. However, you will make new relationships, discover your own strengths, and get valuable inner insights. Every step you take will propel you to the summit of your goals. Each hardship will act as a building block, preparing you for the next step on your journey. You may feel as if your chores are getting more demanding and responsibilities are attempting to bend your shoulders. But there's one thing you must never forget. You are not alone. Divine assistance is always available, guiding and protecting you when you are tired. Remember that this route isn't just for you. This also applies to people that follow you. The season of growth has begun for those seeking a guiding light. Prepare to accept the gifts that God has prepared for you. Trust that the travel will go smoothly. Trust that your presence is exactly where it should be. As you advance, you will realize that the power inside you is limitless. God is growing and exalting you in the same manner that a small seed grows into a large oak tree. The only thing that may keep you from success is feeling that you are inadequate. But in God's eyes, you have always been adequate. He selected you. He created you valuable. He has called you to a higher purpose. Now, because of the holy nature of the moment, God's grace for you is greater and more powerful than the weight of the world. The world waits for you to reach your full potential. Now is the moment. It is time to take up the sacred position you have been granted. God picked you to make a difference in the world. All of those prayers and aspirations are finally beginning to bear fruit. Feel God's power via your thoughts, emotions, and dreams. Remember that no power can remove your spiritual inheritance. No storm can change God's intentions for you. Stand firm against any ideas or anxieties that attempt to hold you back. Since you were selected by God, now say it loudly. I've been selected, and no danger can stop me. As you speak, God's might will descend on you, filling your heart with courage. For God has set aside this time for you to be prepared, to accept the blessings that will come your way. When you're feeling inadequate, gaze in His eyes. God did not make you inadequate. He created you. Lovely. Take every step in His light. Every single breath you take is imbued with His grace. Now accept the gifts you've received. Expand your heart. Open your heart. God has called you to grow, flourish, and share His glory. Now respond to the call and believe that God's plan will work marvels through you.